Hello and welcome back to another episode of White Album 2. We are currently playing through CODA. And honestly, I'm still in love with this scene because I really think it's well deserved. I don't think anybody's over-exaggerating. I think this is exactly what Haruki deserves to hear. Regardless of whether or not he's following his heart, he does need to know that he is hurting the people around him. So, let's continue from here. I kept telling myself that I was going to make enemies of everyone, that I was going to lose all my friends, yet...
いや、俺はさ、痛いだろ、Haruki.
It hurts. It hurts that my feelings aren't being conveyed. It hurts that my love for her isn't reaching them.
でもな、Haruki. 刹那は、あんたに捨てられた刹那はこんなもんじゃ。
Yes, it is. This is the desperate pain Setsuna was bottling up back then. Well, yes, but then again, I don't feel like it's quite comparable because Haruki is choosing to abandon someone. And now he's feeling the pain, whereas Setsuna got abandoned. So, like, Haruki is deserving of it, Setsuna wasn't, so I feel like the pain really isn't comparable in that sense. This is my retribution for switching partners overnight. Something I must accept. Io's very last.
帰れ、お前ら。
However, the moment I thought my heart was going to break in two, a calm yet overpowering voice interrupts me.
春樹を説得する気がないなら帰れ。ただ言いまかしたいだけなら、もう二度と会うな。
飯塚さん。
After being told to shut up by the women, Takeya had been keeping to himself.
もう諦めろ。というか、お前らもう諦めてるじゃないか。いらねえよ、この場に。
That's pretty harsh of him.
だって。
Takeya, who'd been wordlessly gazing at me from this side, suddenly takes control of the whole conversation.
俺は諦めない。ちゃんと春樹を説得する。もう一度、刹那ちゃんのことを考え直させる。必ず。
Of all things, he willingly stands against the women's sense of justice.
だからお前らみたいに春樹を追い込むやつはいらない。とっととこの場からいなくなれ。
Although I don't agree with Takeya here, honestly, because even if he did manage to convince Haruki, then everybody just knows that his feelings faltered and that he's like a flaky guy, and just Setsuna deserves better than that. She really does.
Takeya, やめろ。
He's going against Io. He's going against the person who was closer to him than anyone else. The person who he watched over Setsuna and me with.
なんだよそれ。Takeya、Harukiをかばうのか。私の方が間違ってるっていうのか。
知るかよそんなの。ただ、今は春樹と話すのにお前が邪魔なだけだ。
お前、Harukiと私、どっちの味方なんだよ。
決まってんだろそんなの。
やめろって、おい。
No matter how I look at it, Takeya has no reason at all to defend me. And no matter how I look at it, the ones who are saying the right things here are Io and Yanagihara. And yet, I know the name Takeya is going to say.
春樹だよ。
This man. Yet I couldn't stop it from boiling over. Takeya, why you gotta be dumb? Don't. Man. Sometimes you gotta know when your friend's just a lost cause.
ほら、酔いざまし。
Thank you.
After that, the two women left, with harsh, condemning looks in their eyes that were focused on Takeya more than me. But once our table became quiet, neither of us were in the mood for conversation. Before long, the two of us had left the bar too. Takeya walked along the city streets in silence, and I followed behind him without saying a word.
お疲れ。
Under the cold night sky, we finally find a place to sit and share our canned coffees. The warmth from the coffee permeates throughout my entire body, although I didn't need it to sober up since I'd barely drunk anything.
悪かったな。あんなことになっちまって。
あんなことになったのは
Yes, you were.
あ、そりゃそうだけどさ。
Ever since he chased out the girls, or perhaps ever since we met up, Takeya had been very relaxed. Among the four of us, he was careful not to stir anything up. Instead, he stuck to the backseat role and threw in a laugh or two when he could.
後でイオとちゃんと仲直りしとけよ。俺もう間に入れないんだからな。
この後に及んで余計なお世話かよ。自分のしたことと立場をよく考えろ。
Well, as expected, not even he could hide his frustration this far in.
なんで俺がこんな配線処理やらないといけないんだろうな。
配線処理って
間違ってようが正しかろうが、本気になった時のお前が意見を曲げないなんて、俺が一番よく知ってるってのに。
竹谷、
本当になんでこんなことになるんだか。
No. Perhaps it was his plan to lose his cool halfway through from the start, to settle the score alone with me. So he can take on all the responsibility by himself when he fails to convince me. It's almost as though he's ready to take on the responsibility for all my actions. He's too good. The winter cold pierces through me much harsher than usual, perhaps because I didn't drink all that much. The canned coffee I had in my hand had turned cold before I knew it, and was no longer suitable to warm my hands.
竹谷、
I'm not sure if I'm feeling cold because of the loneliness that's welling up within me, or if it's because of another reason.
ちょっとだけ話を聞いてくれるか。
The only thing I wanted to do was convey something to the only person standing in front of me. I wanted to tell him a single truth, with just a few excuses put in.
北条大病院ってなんつう東大の真下だよ。マスコミ全然気づいてないじゃん。
政治家や芸能人もよく入院してるらしいからな。そういう方面のケアは万全なんだろう。
When Takeya heard about Tomoyoko's illness and the place she was staying at, he was at a loss for words. It's only natural for him to react that way, I suppose. In fact, he's taking this much better than expected. Perhaps it's because Yoko-san is nothing but a stranger to him, or perhaps because he figured something out from my behavior.
もちろん他言無用で頼むな。日本だといろいろと騒がれるかもしれないし。
せつなちゃんにも？
せつなにこそ絶対に。
なんで？どう考えても理由の一つだろう。
こんなのただの言い訳だ。俺が間違った選択をしてることに変わりない。
Yeah, you really shouldn't use that as an excuse. Like, just because someone has an ill family member doesn't mean you should be like, well, I'm gonna leave my long-term fiance for her because she needs support. Like, it's not an excuse. People get sick, that's what happens. You can't include that in your decision making for something this big.
ああ、そうだな。お前は間違ってる。せつなちゃんに正直に話すべきだった。
The wrong choice Takeya was referring to was a bit different from what I was thinking of.
お前がそれを正直に話したら、せつなちゃんは一緒に背負ってくれようとするかもしれないじゃないか。
かもな。刹那だし。
But we both know that the central point of the issue is different between us.
そしたらさ、もしかしたらその先にもっといい答えがある可能性だって。
And then I start to understand. Takeya is drifting away from the point on purpose.
ないのか、そういう選択。今からでも3人で話し合うことできないのか。
For us to share our wisdom together, carry each other's burdens, and perhaps find a better solution to all of this. Sharing the pain amongst the three of us. Something I'd usually suggest.
もう無理だ。
なんで。
But that choice is...
俺はカズサと生きることを選んだんだ。刹那を巻き込まないって誓ったんだ。
巻き込まれた方が幸せなことだってある。せつなちゃんなら絶対にそう思ってくれる。
Sometimes the perfect solution doesn't exist, especially in this situation.
それでももうダメなんだ。
だからなんで。
もし3人で背負ったら俺はもう2人のうちからカズサを選べなくなる。
お前。
I could only make that kind of choice once I was determined to give up on Kazusa.
俺やっぱりカズサが好きだった。俺だけのものにしたかったんだ。
But if Kazusa's burden is shared among the three of us, and the three of us become happy because of that,
2年前吹っ切ったと思ってたけど違ってた。ずっと昔から何も変わってなかった。2年間自分でも気づかないうちに嘘を重ねてたんだ。
then Kazusa will stop trying to make me hers. She'll disappear by herself before I know it.
だから刹那には頼れない。ただのエゴだよ。
It will be a future without Kazusa by my side. 3 will find happiness, 2 will find happiness in each other, while 2 will be left without the happiness they want.
お前最低だな。そしてトーマも最低だ。
カズサは関係ない。全部俺の。
お前がどんなにかばっても、向こうにどんな事情があっても、トーマがひどいことをしたって事実に変わりはないんだよ。本当に愛し合ってる。婚約までしてる恋人同士を引き裂いてまで男を自分のものにしようとしてんだぞ。
I mean, agreed. I don't think that Kazusa would have pursued it as hard if Haruki wouldn't have insisted on it. But that doesn't change the fact that, yeah, she is going along with it. She is breaking up this relationship alongside Haruki. So, yeah.
今まで俺が見てきた中にもそんなひでえ女いやしなかった。最悪の地雷だよ。
I had nothing to counter him with. Stop it. Stop it. Because emotions are filling my mind rather than reason. Don't say bad things about Kazusa. Not my Kazusa. Nothing but those laughable responses came to mind.
俺、お前のこと見損なってたよ。もっと分別のあるやつだって。少なくとも俺よりはって、そう思ってたんだ。
That's such a scathing insult coming from Takeya. Takeya sees that I have nothing to respond with, so he breathes a sigh as if he's had enough. Just a few moments before, he had shut down Io and Yanagihara-san and proclaimed himself as my ally.
今だって本当は口も聞きたくないんだ。そのくらいお前のことを軽蔑してんだよ。
ごめん。
But in time, even Takeya leaves my side.
けど俺お前の親友だから。望みがないって分かってるけど、それでもまだお前の親友だからさ。
Wow. Takeya. And the Japanese he uses there actually insinuates that he's a very close friend, not even just a regular friend, but like a close or best friend.
竹谷。
だからこれが最後の頼みだ。頼むよ、春樹。元のお前に戻ってくれよ。
Oh, Takeya, no. This is actually very sad.
お前が一言せつなちゃんの元に戻るって言ってくれれば、俺が何もかも元通りに戻してやる。
Because now he's presenting Haruki with something that he hates. He's giving Haruki a decision. And Haruki, as we know, like he never wanted to make that final decision. So now he's putting it back. He's giving the ball back to Haruki's court, or whatever the expression goes. And so now he has to really decide again, is he truly ready to give everything up for Kazusa?
お前。
イオも友もみんな説得する。お前の言ってしまったこと全部なかったことにしてやる。だから
Ah, this guy.
頼むから撤回してくれ。悪い冗談だったって笑いながら謝ってくれればいいんだよ。
Really was a true friend of mine. And using the past tense there is really painful. The only one I had. And I'll probably never be able to see him again. He was another person I considered most important to me, in a different way than both Setsuna and Kazusa.
竹谷。俺無理だよ。もう。
He was someone that was truly precious to me.
最初から間違ってるって分かってるんだ。それでも最初から直すつもりがないんだよ。
なんでだよ。信じらんねえよ。どうしてだよ、春樹。
Damn it. I'm such an idiot. I only realized how precious our friendship is when I'm about to lose it.
俺いつもこんなだよ。基本的にバカなんだ。
All of this is really so stupid. Everything I've done up until now could only be described that way.
正しいことをしようと思うけど間違える。何が正しいのか分かってるのに、それでも間違ったことをしてしまうんだ。
New discoveries, happiness, frustration, pain, and nostalgia that I once shared with him are brought to my mind.
だからって間違いすぎだろよ。俺にだってできねえぞ、せつなちゃん。あんないい子を捨てるなんて。
In this hopeless situation, the expression he desperately tried to prevent himself from crying slackened for just a moment.
撤回してくれよ。でないと俺、今度こそ本当にお前のこと軽蔑しなくちゃならなくなるんだぞ。
分かってるよ。
お前をかばえなくなる。かばいたくなくなる。最低なやつだって認めてしまうんだぞ。
もうこれ以上俺をかばうな。お前まで友達なくすぞ。
It just sucks because they've been friends for like 7 years? Like, that's a long friendship. And Haruki wasn't even that good a friend to him, and he was still by his side the whole time. And yet,
Haruki! お前、マジかよ。
thank you, Takeya.
嘘だ。嘘だろ。
But please don't cry anymore. Because I don't have the right to cry. I don't have the right to be sad. All of this is due to my own actions. There is not a single thing that couldn't have been prevented. I willingly chose this avoidable fate out of my own desire alone.
もう行けよ。これ以上話しても平行線だ。
待てよ。待ってくれよ。
I'm really, really grateful to you, Takeya. Thanks to you, I found a tiny bit of salvation.
お前が行かないなら俺が先に行くわ。じゃあな。
許さねえ。一生許さないからな。ハルキ。
It's already been destroyed, though. Even so, up until a few moments ago, there was true friendship between us.
さよなら、竹谷。
ふざけんな！
I can go on believing that. It's painful. It's really painful. I think a lot of the analysis you end up reading about White Album 2 really focuses so much on Kazusa and Setsuna, which is understandable, but honestly, the friendships that Haruki loses, I mean, that's such a big thing, especially Takeya, who's been on Haruki's side an embarrassing amount of time. It's just so painful. It seems like the trains are still operating. In this station that never sleeps, even in the middle of a snowy night, the ticket gates continue to spew forth countless people. Perhaps I felt relieved by seeing the big crowd of people in front of the station. Or perhaps I felt overwhelmed by all the things that had happened up until now. And before I knew it, I was looking up at the sky. The bright lights of the city make most of the stars invisible, with only the bright moon watching over the city. It felt like I was dreaming. Of course, it was not a good dream. He was the first friend I ever made after I enrolled in high school. He was always at the center of all my relationship problems. I thought that our friendship would stick around whether I wanted it or not. I worried about their future. Those two have been stuck together for longer than Takeya and me. Yet they're never honest with each other, so I'd get irritated at how nothing ever progressed between them. I thought to myself that one day I would be able to do something for them, the same way they helped me out. Yet all of the strings that brought us three together have been cut loose. All because of my own mistakes and my mistakes alone. Even so, with the way things have turned out, I don't even have the time to lament over it. I can't even cry over Yanagihara-san hating me, Io being fed up with me, and losing my best friend, Takeya. Tell me, God, was what I did truly so awful? Yeah, actually, it was.
はい、北原です。
小木曽です。刹那の父です。
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I don't know what it's like to be a dad, obviously, but the fact that Setsuna's dad is calling Haruki, just like, oh no.
こんばんは。
Konbanwa. Good evening. Good evening, sir. Oh, that would be so scary. Yes, of course it was. Setsuna's dad really scared me, so I would be horrified talking to him.
あれ北原さん
I thought the bicycle passing by me stopped to make way for me, yet its rider spoke with a voice I recognized.
何どうしたの今日はうちにいよ
高弘くんこそこんな時間から出かけるの
Yet I wouldn't call the meeting miraculous, just a small coincidence. After all, I'm only 200 meters away from the Ogiso household.
それがさレイトショーのチケット2枚もらったんだ友達と見ようって約束してたやつだったし今日は舞台挨拶もあるっていうから渡りに船でさ
へえもらったんだ
ああ母さんから知り合いにこの映画館の株主がいるらしくてさ
そう
And the reason for Takahiro-kun being out at this time is neither a coincidence nor a miracle. He was lured away.
うち来ても姉ちゃんいないよ1時間くらい前に柳原さんが来て一緒に出かけた
そうなんだ
So they even lured away Setsuna.
おかしいな今日会う約束してた
いや違うよ今日は君ん家に行くんじゃないんだこの先に別の用があるだけで
Suspicious. Is he trying to be considerate, or did his mother tell him to?
ああそういえばさ北原さんに会ったからついでに聞いちゃうけど
何
最近姉ちゃんと喧嘩でもした
どうしてそう思うのかな
It was a very predictable question.
だってさ最近変なんだよ仕事から帰ってきたらすぐ部屋に引きこもっちゃうし食事も外で済ませてきてリビングには顔出さないし
And the way Takahiro described Setsuna's current condition was also something that I'd anticipated.
一昨日なんか廊下で顔を合わせたのになんか避けるように部屋に逃げ込むんだぜ
As is the fact that Takahiro-kun has noticed by now that something is wrong with her. I mean, how can you not? If you're living in the same household with someone, you'd undoubtedly hear them crying and not eating and being in their room. Like, you know what's up. You're living together.
いい加減俺も腹立って何度も部屋ノックしたらさこれ見よがしに鍵かける音がしてさなるほどやっぱり心当たりあるんだそうやって黙り込んじゃうところを見るとさ
叶わないな君には
Truly, I am no match for the Ogiso family and their love for each other. Everyone's always concerned for each other, and even the slightest change in behavior catches their attention. And they don't hesitate trying to help each other. Something that never existed in the Kitahara family, and something that was completely one-sided in the Toma family. That kind of heartwarming love.
何やってんだよ北原さんついこの間婚約したばっかでさ
そうだね
I was supposed to become a part of this family before long. That shining jewel on Setsuna's finger was supposed to light up my way to a brighter future.
ちゃんと早く仲直りしといてくれよいい加減うちの雰囲気悪いんだよね
ごめん
But I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
だから謝らなくてもいいってばちゃんと態度で示してくれればさ
悪いそろそろ行かないと
But there is absolutely nothing I can do other than apologize.
まあじゃあね
楽しんでおいで
Takahiro is out, and Setsuna is away. The only people waiting for me at the Ogiso household are those two. In other words, this is something they don't want their children to see, and a conversation they don't want them to hear. Oh boy. Of course they switched the scene. So, that's exciting, getting to talk to the parents. We will stop there for today. Give us something to look forward to for next time. So, thanks so much for joining me on this episode of Kazusa's Route in CODA, and I'll be back soon with the next one. Until then, hope you take care. See you!